Eala won a brutal 3-set battle in Toronto and then did something players rarely do. She sat on her chair after match point and just stayed there. Quiet, still, not celebrating like normal. Her opponent had pushed her to the edge for 2 straight weeks of matches. What Alex said next about her emotions explains exactly why she couldn't move from that chair. And it connects straight back to those 4 words in her own voice. I've been feeling emotions so extreme. For 2 weeks straight, Eala faced a new challenge in every single match. Each opponent brought something different. Each round asked more of her body and her mind. By the time she reached this match, the pressure had been building for days without a break. She admitted the whole stretch had been hard, not just physically but emotionally. She called herself a sentimental person. That means she feels things deeply and does not hide from that. But on court, she still had a job to do. Stay calm, stay focused, stick to her game plan. That mix of deep feeling and forced calm is what made this match so heavy for her. The match itself was close from start to finish. Alex fell behind early in more than one set. Instead of panicking, she said she focused on facts she could control. She knew her opponent was playing well. She knew she was missing shots she normally makes. So her plan was simple. Play the next point better than the last one. That approach helped her climb back from early deficits again and again. It was not flashy. It was not lucky. It was 1 point at a time, built on discipline instead of panic. In the 3rd set, something shifted. After winning a big point, Alex turned to the crowd and asked them to get louder. She said she was hyped in that moment and wanted to share that energy with the fans, then take it right back from them. She admitted she does not remember every detail of that point, only that she wanted it badly. That single moment became a turning point in momentum, with the crowd feeding her energy and her feeding it right back to them. Winning this match came at a price. In the 2nd set, Alex rolled her ankle after landing awkwardly from a forehand. She called for the physio right away because it happened so fast, and she did not know how bad it was. Luckily, there was no serious damage, but the toll was still real. After the match, she immediately put her legs up, a clear sign of how much this win had drained her. She said she is as tired as she can be at this stage of the tournament, with many matches already played and more still to come. Her opponent in this match was Katie McNally, referred to as Katie during the interview. Alex called her a big fighter with real weapons on court, and said the match was tight because of it. After the final point, the two shared a warm hug at the net. Katie told Alex congratulations, then said something that stuck with her. She thanked Alex for letting her be part of this moment. Alex called that response incredibly kind and gracious. Eala walked through the toughest draw of her career and became the first player from the Philippines to ever win a double E singles title. This isn't hype. This is the real-time rise of a superstar, and the entire tennis world stopped to react. Let's talk about who she beat, because this wasn't a lucky run. In the first round, she took down the Olympic champion, Qinwen Zheng. In the second round, she knocked out the defending champion, Leylah Fernandez. Then she beat Naomi Osaka, a 4-time major champion, and followed that up by eliminating the world No. 1 seed on her way to the final. 3 top seeds gone in a single week. Analysts on the desk called it exactly what it was. She absorbed the power from big hitters like Zheng and Osaka and turned it right back against them, with a return game that's become, in their words, absolutely deadly. Then came the final against Jessica Pegula, and this is where the story gets wild. Pegula came out sharp and took the first set 6-4. Eala clawed back into the second set, winning it on serve, and then the rain hit. Play was suspended. The match got frozen mid-second set, and both players had to walk off, go to bed, and come back the next day to finish at a final that literally spanned 24 hours across 2 separate days. When they resumed, something had shifted. Pegula, who had just 20 unforced errors before the delay, came back out and racked up 30 unforced errors after it, wildly uncharacteristic for a player with her experience. Meanwhile, Eala just got bolder. Analysts described her as fearless, aggressive early in points, cranking up the miles per hour on her forehand, and she closed it out by taking the third set 6-1 to win her first career WTA title. Think about what that means for Pegula too. This was her 23rd career WTA final, and she just went to the negative side of her record, now sitting at 11 wins and 12 losses in title matches. And yet she stood on that podium and, with total class, told the crowd how much Eala has transformed women's tennis. How everyone in the building was there to see her play. That's the kind of sportsmanship that made this moment even bigger. Now let's get inside Eala's head. because her own words after the match are where this story really hits. She said the last 24 hours were a blur. She'd warmed up what felt like 1,000 times waiting through the delay. And when she finally hit that match point, she says she'd basically blacked out. Everything just came rushing at her at once. She talked about being nervous before the final points and trying to channel that nervous energy into moving her feet and hitting clean committed balls. And when it was over, she dropped straight to the ground. She wasn't just carrying her own dream on her shoulders either. Eala has become a genuine national symbol back in the Philippines. She even received a presidential commendation after her breakout run to the second week at Wimbledon earlier this year. She talked openly about how heavy that recognition can feel in the moment, how overwhelming it is to experience these firsts in real time, but how tennis has been her whole life since she was a kid. And competing under pressure is the one thing she knows how to do no matter what. And her fan base is turning into its own storyline. Exactly 1 year ago, Eala wasn't even in the top 50 of women's tennis. She was ranked 65th in the world. Days before that, she lost in the first round of the Canadian Open. Fast forward 12 months, and she's standing on center court in Washington, D.C., holding her first ever WTA trophy, having just beaten the world number 3, Jessica Pegula, in 3 sets. That's not a slow climb. That's an explosion. And today I'm breaking down exactly how it happened, in her own words, in her coach's words, and in the words of the woman who just lost to her. Let's start with the moment nobody expected. Pegula, the runner-up, the top seed who'd barely lost a final all 2026 season, walking up to the mic seconds after defeat and calling Eala an amazing player, not through gritted teeth. She talked about watching Eala grow over the last couple years, about how tough she is to face, and about genuinely enjoying the atmosphere Eala's fans bring to every tournament. That's rival respect, live, unscripted, right after a loss. Then it was Eala's turn. And here's the detail that actually tells you who she is. Her first words as champion weren't about herself. She turned straight to Pegula and thanked her for an amazing week, specifically praising her forehand and backhand, saying she was still learning from her, even in a match she'd just won. Then came the thank yous: her mom, her dad, her brother, her team, calling them her inner circle, the people who make her feel like she's not carrying this alone. She thanked the tournament for moving the final to a Monday after rain wiped out the original schedule, and she called it memorable instead of a disaster. Then she turned to the crowd, specifically the Filipino community, in D.C. and back home, and said she felt all the love. She even revealed that the night before the final, she got flooded with messages from friends and family scattered across tour, and that alone made her feel like, win or lose, this tournament was already a win. Now here's the number that makes all of this land differently. This win was Eala's 9th career victory over a top 10 player, and her 7th this season alone. She's now the first player from the Philippines ever to win a tour-level title. 1 year ago, she was 65th. This year, she's beaten Naomi Osaka twice, plus wins over top-ranked players at Wimbledon and beyond, and she's currently sitting 14th in the WTA finals race. That's the fastest kind of rise this sport produces. Not steady, not predictable, just a switch flipped somewhere in the back half of last season. But here's what actually explains how she held it together during that final. Because it wasn't luck. It rained. Play got suspended, restarted, suspended again. Pegula took the first set, 6-4. Eala was down in the biggest match of her career against a player who almost never blows a lead.
Oh, yes.
Eala just beat a 6-time Grand Slam champion on center court, and the way she did it is stranger than the scoreline. On July 4, 2026, Alexandra Eala walked out at Wimbledon ranked world No. 29, drawn against defending champion Iga Swiatek, the No. 3 seed with 6 Grand Slam titles to her name. Nobody expected a contest. Eala's own serve barely breaks club rally speed. First serves landing around 86 miles per hour compared to Swiatek's 102. On paper, this was a mismatch. 2 hours and 14 minutes later, Eala was on her knees in tears, and Swiatek was walking off center court, eliminated in the 3rd round. The first set alone lasted 84 minutes, one of the longest and best of the entire tournament. Eala fell behind early, clawed back, and pushed all the way to a set point at 5-3. that Swiatek somehow saved. It went to a tiebreak. At 4-2 down in that tiebreak, Swiatek cracked, throwing her racket into her own bag right there on center court.
Just staying.
The defending champion visibly losing her composure in front of a full crowd. Eala saved 2 set points and closed the tiebreak 7-6. She never let go in the second set, racing through it 6-2 while Swiatek's game came apart around a string of unforced errors and double faults. 5 double faults across the whole match. Here's what actually decided it, and it didn't come from a coach or an analyst. It came from Swiatek herself in her own press conference. She said the slow second serve was mentally tougher to face than a fast one, because she knew exactly how it would arrive, and still couldn't find rhythm off it. That's the twist worth building the whole video around. The serve everyone calls Eala's weakness, the one running roughly 20 miles an hour slower than tour average, is the exact shot that dismantled a Grand Slam